Welcome, Reflections. You are over here with Tarethia, and we are here for another hoodoo voodoo tale. And now we are taking it to Jackson, Mississippi, October 22nd, 1934, 10 p.m. The light from the police chief Simmons' flashlight cut through the darkness like a knife. The yellow tinted beam of light was filled with the dancing dust as it pierced the darkness dirt path into the woods. Lush green plants and sprawling kudzu covered the path, creating a tunnel effect into the property. The two officers followed Simmons as they crushed fallen branches and snapping twigs on the ground under their black leather boots. The Mississippi heat beat down on the men, sending trails of salty sweat down their foreheads. The trail seemed to go on forever, until the chief spotted tiny star-like flames through the darkness. The humidity seemed to push the officer's uniform against their flesh, and their hearts began to race. The two men seemed lost as they followed the chiefs into the darkness. It was only a few hours ago that he had told them of this special operation. The chief remained silent, regarding the reason for this raid. He knew that if he mentioned the word voodoo, it might affect the whole operation. Voodoo was a mystical phenomenon that was practiced in the backfields of farms among the impoverished black families. Simmons assumed anyway. The curious chief had recently been alerted by a local informant that there was some sort of voodoo operation going on in the abandoned farm near the river. The sparkling lights that danced in the darkness appeared to be gathering clearer as the hushed sounds of voices could be heard, thickening ahead. The men could not make out the shape of the old house made of rotting wood. Simmons turned to his men and raised his finger to his lips as an eerie voice cried out from within the structure. And the Holy Ghost is going to take that spirit. Oh Lord, the spirit has no place in this man. Take it out. The booming voice drowned the sound of insects chirping in the night sky. Simmons' hand slid down and rested on the leather snap that held his revolver in the holster. Pop! The leather sounded as he removed the only thing holding back his weapon from being drawn. The sound of the echoing pops from his officers soon followed. Pop! 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 As the man drew nearer, a scent of burning herbs that reminded the chief of his wife cooking spices caused his nostrils to flare. The flames of the candles could be seen illuminating through a cornice covering the window of the old wooden house. The light from the candles grew as it cast shadows on the walls, lightening shifting shapes of human figures. Chief Simmons could hear his officers' breathing growing even more intense. Simmons turned and whispered to the men, "There is no telling what we are about to see. Just follow my lead and make sure we round up everyone that's in the building." The men nodded as they wondered to themselves what is actually going to be. Is this another bootlegging or a prostitution operation? As the men slowly walked out of the woods into the open yard before them, the light of the summer moon shined brightly, destroying any possibility of remaining hidden. The chief turned and raised his finger. "Let's go." The three officers rushed toward the wooden door, and as the chief reached down and twisted the doorknob, boom! The door slammed against the wall of the house as Simmons' boot crashed into the door. "Everybody freeze!" he yelled. "Police!" Clouds from the following white smoke filled the room as the salutes of men and women fell to the floor. Simmons' eyes began to run along the walls of the room, decorated with crosses of pictures of Jesus and saints. A table filled with various burning colored candles lit the room. Bowls of dried plants and glasses bottles filled with multicolored oils adorned the wooden table in the corner. As one of the younger officers began to walk towards a door on the east side of the room, he noticed the threshold of the room changing colors. Swinging his sidearm into the door, the officer's eyes widened as a revolving colored lamp sat in the corner. An elderly man was in the corner, staring at the floor under a dark-colored statue that held a burning bowl of incense. A young girl lay on the crude operating table against the far wall of the room. As frightened as she appeared to the officers, she would later go on to attest to the healing powers of the owner of this operation. Dr. Claude Jones was arrested by Mississippi authorities for running a hoodoo hospital in the cradle of the Delta on Sunday, October the 21st, 1934. in Jackson, Mississippi. A spiritual doctor and root worker specializing in African American healing practices, Jones created a condescending spiritual sanctuary for local black men and women who were struggling with sicknesses as well as spiritual curses. The local press described the activities of the hospital unusual. What actually went on in that facility was very different from what the press reported on the outside. This would be one of the many discoveries of evidence of hoodoo and conjure in the Mid South. Make sure you join us again, Reflection, for our next tale of hoodoo and voodoo in the Mid South. Until next time, Ashe.